Howdy, Ayebawl here, and welcome to another episode of Factorio with Arumba's Angel Plus Bods mod pack. So we're going to continue on with redefining the factory, starting from the ore crusher, and then dismantling the old part of the factory to make room for the flotation portion of it, and then the leaching system. So the flotation system will create tons of sulfuric water, which you'll get your sulfur from, turn that into sulfuric acid, and the leaching system will then utilize the sulfuric acid to more purify the raw ore resource. It allows the ore sorter to be able to take the raw resource, and instead of producing one source of BODS resources, you would get several. So I'm setting up the ore crushers for the red one and the brown one. And then let's see, gotta redo the belt lines. So when I came across to dismantling the factory, I constantly kept tearing down needed power supplies. So this lake here has to go. I'm definitely going to need that room. And then going to move this massive crushed stone out of the way. So I'm going to let the robots take care of dismantling the factory. Granted, I don't have that many, so it'll take some time. But while they're working on that, I can continue on with adjusting. So I'm going to leave enough room to expand the furnace area so I can double it up later on. Eventually I'll get the spacing right. For right now, I'll just dump all the iron plate to a big passive provider warehouse. I'll move the rest of the iron plate over. So I figure I'm done trying to make robots right now, because I need the space to turn this iron plate into steel. So I'll set up 2 furnace areas for the steel processing, since a tons of steel is needed for mostly the Mark IIs. Yeah, re-add the power lines to keep dismantling too much at one time. It's going to end up being a huge cleanup later on. Throw all the added pieces to a storage chest so the construction robots have access to the material. So I'm still plopping down robo ports to make sure that the robots uh, still have access to everything, and so that they have charging stations. And they're not just flying somewhere, then decide all of a sudden midway they fly in the opposite direction to go charge up. So for right now, I've got the coal uh, deposit in the way for right now, but it will either A, dry up and not be in the way, or B, I'll find out that I did not give myself enough room and I may have to end up moving that entire furnace area again. So I'll move the trees out of the way so I can have room for the flotation area. So when it comes to the flotations, those machines run at a slower speed, and you're going to need a lot of them to match the amount of ore crushers that I've got going on right now. And they take tons of purified water. I'm going to have to basically just check and guess the actual ratio that I'm going to need when it comes to the flotation, and then again do the same with the leaching process. So I was taking a look at the part of the Angels pack or mod with this whole extra area that I have not seen or messed with yet. But it deals with raw resources, which I haven't broken down to yet, so that's going to be further down the road. So I'll place a storage warehouse there, so the robots will stop putting the overflow, the Sephirite and the coal in random storage chests that I had and I turned around and turned all the store chests I did have into active chests so that they will empty those chests out and move everything into the storage warehouse. Now the active chests are a low priority, so they'll do everything else, and when they have nothing to do, they'll end up actually moving stuff out of the active chests. So that ends up taking them a long time, but it's not something I actually need to move out of the way myself right now, so they can just take care of that. At some point, I'm going to have to move the tree farm over to where the furnace area is as well. Little by little, the robots will eventually tear down everything. Probably should have waited until I had like 10 times the amount of robots that I actually have. So the flotation takes in purified water and outputs the sulfuric water. And they also produce the the different color crystals. I'm not quite sure what the ratio is going to be. I'm going to, again, play around with a good ratio, trying to feed these thirsty machines with enough purified water, and getting that portion as a treat within itself. I also play around with the task if having the input ore come in the middle or the input ore come out on the from the outside. Also, since they move slow, I thought maybe just using regular inserters, but then I remembered that you have to use filtered inserters because of different types of output that they have. So I do end up switching it around, and I have both outputs on the outside, and I use the inner portion as the input. I figured it'd just be easier that way. So now that I've got some kind of basic structure or basic idea, I took a blueprint of it and then moved it out of the way so I could find a better placement for it. So at each stage, I'll have a warehouse so that the output can continually be put somewhere until the next stage is ready for it. So that's going to be it for this time, and hopefully I get further down the road in the next episode. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.